So welcome to the ChangeMaker20 Summit, a convergence of visionaries and change agents igniting global transformation. Through collective innovation, we embark on a journey to conquer challenges, spark inspiration, and pave the way for a radiant tomorrow. A shared endeavor shaping the future we envision. Distinguished attendees of the ChangeMaker20 Summit, we now welcome you to today's panel discussion. Principal and co-principal investigator, he has successfully handled numerous projects and released multiple plant protection technologies, varieties and technologies. Sir, please take the stage and without further ado, let's commence this invigorating exchange of ideas with everyone. Over to you,
Thank you,
sir.
Anupama. Friends, today we have assembled here to discuss about the one of the important agriculture aspect with a theme on can we achieve agricultural sustainability by involving new generation youths. There are two things now. One is the sustainability and another one is the youths. Many people, they speak about the sustainability in agriculture. It is very difficult to bring about. We have to manage soil, water, forestry, so many things, and resource management, diversification, cost reduction, skill development, entrepreneurship. 42% of our farmers, they are all youths between 15 to 35 years of age, and now these youths, they are interested in gadgets. They are away from the agriculture. They are interested in white collar jobs. They say that although lot of opportunities are there for agriculture, employment in agriculture, but they say there is unemployment. And we need to rebrand our agriculture because branding has been made. Agriculture is vulnerable. It's not profitable. Lot of branding has been already made. We have to rebrand that, utilizing the service of our new generation youths, and lot of jobs you have to create. FPOs already have been created. Online marketing, there is a scope. With this background, we have panelists from different areas. Let me introduce them. To start with, we have our Dr. ChangeMaker20, who is just representing ICR. He is a principal scientist from the ICR, working at Atari, Bangalore. And since so many years, he has been guiding the KVKs, Krishi Vigyan Kendras, especially in bringing the sustainability only. These Krishi Vigyan Kendras are working towards the welfare of the farmers. He had a lot of interest in documenting the doubling of farmers' income, one of the most favored project of our Honorable Prime Minister. So like that, he is serving the farming community in a different way. And on behalf of all you and the participants, I welcome Dr. ChangeMaker20 to this Climate Change and ChangeMaker Summit 2023. Hearty welcome to ChangeMaker20, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sridhar.
Then now we have another panelist, Dr. Jalla Satyanarayan. He is the Dean Students Welfare from PJTS Agriculture University, Hyderabad. Basically, he is an entomologist, and he is working with the students, and he is working for the welfare of the students. Earlier, he was a dean of the college. He has got a lot of research interest also, and he will be speaking about different aspects of the students' involvement in bringing the sustainability to the agriculture. Welcome to Jalla Satyanarayan. Welcome, Doctor.
Namaste, sir. Good afternoon.
We have another senior panelist here, Dr. Hemant Nitturkar. Basically, he is from India, but he is now with the FAO, working at Samu Islands. He has got about 30 years of global experience as an innovator, and he is a social entrepreneur. He has got a lot of experience working in different continents, different countries. I welcome you, Hemant, for this ChangeMaker Summit, especially for this panel discussion.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to join you in
And
this panel.
representing women, always in agriculture law, we have a lot of involvement of women in agriculture. 80% of the work has been carried out in agriculture by women only. We have one of the best panelists from Northeast. That is, we have Jyoti Vastra. He is the dean at Community Science College at Turu, Meghalaya. She has got lot of experience in teaching. She has got a lot of experience in textile research, and she has authored many books. Try to do empowering the women in the various areas. She is going to speak about the involvement of women in how best the young women can be involved in bringing the sustainability to agriculture. Welcome to Jyoti Vastra. Welcome, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Pleasure being here on this platform.
Okay, we have another panelist who is especially he's the associate dean at PDKV Akola, one of the best universities, agriculture universities in India. Basically, he's a plant pathologist, and he has worked on a lot of research. He has carried out on citrus and then the cotton. He's having a lot of knowledge in innovations, and he works with the students, farmers, and right now he's associate dean of one of the agriculture college. Welcome you, Gade sir, for this panel discussion. He is Srinivas. He's a very young entrepreneur. He has made a lot of name and fame in the agri-processing industries. Maybe you may be aware about the Vijaya brand of many cereals and pulses products. And
Yes.
he's heading the NR group of industries, which has made a lot of impact in the agriculture processing and the post-harvest handling, then value addition, and his interest is in safety usage of foods and supply chain management. Hope he will be joining us immediately in a few minutes. On behalf of you all and participants, and on behalf of the ChangeMaker Summit, I welcome you all for this panel discussion. And let us start our business with Dr. Chandragowda ji, who is representing the ICR. I request him to speak on the policies and the programs of the ICR, what kind of support can be initiated to bring back the youths, because most of the youths are going from away from the agriculture. They want white collar jobs. Under such situations, we have a program like ARYA, and KVKs are also working towards bringing them back to the agriculture. Dr. Chandragowda sir, please carry on.
Thank you, Dr. Shripad. Very happy to be on this panel. Esteemed experts on the panel, I am Dr. Chandragowda. I have been introduced by Dr. Shripad. I am so grateful to him for the kind words that he has used. Very specifically, let me introduce the topic, sustainability. It has got at least 3 dimensions. When we say or when we speak sustainability, it should meet at least 3 dimensions in terms of economic viability. Second one is environmental feasibility or acceptability. Third one is the social dimension of the sustainability. And without these 3 things achieved in any activity, we don't achieve sustainability. It's a much broader term. Often we use it in a very casual way, but sustainability has got so much depth in that concept, so that we should understand, and then only we should think whether it is possible to be achieved or not. Now, the basic question is that whether sustainability can be achieved in agriculture. I would say with highest level of confidence that yes, it is possible. Because If that is not possible, agriculture would not have continued like this. Agriculture basically a vocation that goes hand in hand with the nature. So basically it has got all the qualities of being sustainable. And the greatest thing that we have in our country is the diversity that is required for agriculture. That is the biggest strength. We have huge diversity in our natural resources, in our social fabric. These are the two things which are very important. One is the community fabric. The other one is the nature, which supports the community. So as long as these two are very strong, the sustainability should not be an issue. And what is needed is technology. Unless we ride on technologies which can assure to anyone who is engaged in agriculture a level of income that is required to sustain a decent livelihood. And second thing is the status, the pride, being an agriculturist. And that can also be supported with adoption of technologies. The modern technological support that we are able to ensure to the society, to the farming community, is provided from not only public sector research institutes, but also private sector research institutes, and also by individual farmers. So technology is one thing which is driving sustainability, basically meeting the economics and environment. So the issue that is being raised is whether agriculture sustainability can be achieved by involving youth. The most crucial word is youth. Youth love to be attracted by tech-savvy things, technology-savvy things. Second thing is that a decent livelihood. They should not feel that being engaged in agriculture is inferior to any other profession. And third thing is that the society should appreciate their work. So only then the youth get attracted and youth remain in agriculture. And we have seen hundreds and thousands and lakhs of youth, not only boys, girls, women, and all ages. They are happily engaged in agriculture, driven by so many issues, so many motives. So when it comes to ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, it has got a vast network of research system which can give the youth the kind of technologies that make them confident to engage in agriculture and survive in agriculture, thrive on that, and excel. I can give hundreds of examples. There are stories, but my point is that there are lakhs and lakhs of youth who are entering into agriculture, somewhere getting disappointed, dissuaded, and leaving agriculture. This is the most challenging aspect, because somewhere either they get miscarried by the rosy picture of urban non-agriculture based employment, or they get dissuaded by their own family members that why in agriculture, why don't you say something else? The question is that to make them attract to agriculture, the kind of family and community support that is required is very important. And they should see that agriculture is no less an inferior vocation compared to any other kind of things. Now, the ICAR has come out with a project called ARIA, Attracting and Retaining Youth in Agriculture. Now, when can we attract the youth? Only when we support them with kind of technologies, with kind of enterprises that make them look proud by themselves. We have promoted nearly 20 kinds of different enterprises, but not all of them are very successful. This is where I make a sort of caution to whoever wants to promote youth in agriculture. We have to choose the right kind of enterprise to that particular area. For example, mushroom may not be successful everywhere. For example, beekeeping may not be economically viable everywhere. Vermicomposting may not be economically viable in most of the places. So there are kinds of enterprises which are viable in some places because there are so many other geophysical and other supporting systems that support enterprises. So let us be very careful that we have to make sure that the right kind of enterprises are supported by identifying the youth. Once we choose the right enterprise, maybe nursery enterprise, maybe poultry enterprise, maybe piggery enterprise, maybe processing and value addition enterprises. These are the 4 or 5 major enterprise areas which are successful across the nation. Whereas beekeeping or mushroom production, they are successful in certain areas. But these enterprises are found to be successful across the country. Now, when we promote these kind of things, we found 2 important things. If youth are listening to this series, I request them. There are 2 kinds of things which are very important. One is the entrepreneurial ability or entrepreneurial competency. If you have the entrepreneurial competency, you are capable of choosing the right enterprise, having a sort of a vision in your own mind to choose its path. But those who do not have entrepreneurial competency need to be educated on the nuances of being an entrepreneur. So these 2 things, one is the technology capacity building is important, and second thing is the entrepreneur, the soft skills that are very important. Because being an entrepreneur requires a lot of other things than just being technically competent. So there are enterprises, there are institutional mechanisms to support you with technology support, and there are institutional arrangements to guide you on how you can build your enterprise right from scratch to your marketing level. And once we make you confident with the technology, with the enterprise, then you yourself will grow. How? You have so many ways to expand your business. You will have to use your social media. You will have to use the marketing platforms that are available online, and you will have to build your own network of input providers and reaching the end users.
Okay.
So these are very few things that I thought that I should make the panelists very clear. Sustainability is possible, it is achievable, and the enough institutional network is already there. We may have to link the right kind of institute to the right kind of person so that they move forward.
Okay. Dr. ChangeMaker sir, you have elaborated on these 2 types of sustainability: economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, and using right technology for right person, linking them to the institutes already existing. It's very nice. And I will come back to you in second part. And now I will be giving in 5 minutes time to explain your views by all the panelists in first session, and I will come back to you in second session also. And now we have our another panelist who has joined, Srinivas Rao. I request him to put on his camera so that others can also see him. Dr. Srinivas Rao is an entrepreneur. Is it audible to you, Srinivas? Hello? Hello? Okay, we welcome him and continue our panel discussion with Dr. Gade. He will be talking to us on the what kind of extension programs we need to bring the sustainability, especially among the youth farmers, young farmers, and what kind of the technology-based, ICT-based agricultural technologies have to be developed to bring them back to the agriculture. Gade sir, you can continue. We have a 5 minutes time, and we'll come back to with another 5 minutes time in the second round. Okay.
So thank you, Dr. Shripad. Then I will try to share my screen. If it is not possible, then I will go orally. Okay.
we have with us one young entrepreneur. You can see Srinivas. Srinivas,
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
now? Yeah.
Yeah.
I will just introduce you. We have different panelists here from different areas.
Yeah.
They will be speaking on different aspects, and you will also get about 10 minutes time in two split doses of 5 minutes. Initially, we will be speaking on the opportunities for entrepreneurship and the post-harvest handling. Okay. Now we will move on to Dr. Gade, who will be speaking on different kind of extension systems we need to bring back the youths into the agriculture.
I have been allotted the topic, and I was a director of extension in Dr. Panjabrao Deshmukh Krishi Vidyapith Akola, which is in Maharashtra. The topic is role of extension education for sustainable agriculture by involving the new generation youth. You can see that in agriculture, the youths are not actually much interested to go for a agriculture business, because it is not actually supposed to be a business, and how best we can involve this new generation youth in agriculture. As Dr. Gowda sir, he's also elaborated what is sustainable. I will add some of the points, the environment sustainability, also financial sustainability. It is also one of the part of the sustainable agriculture, and balanced nutrition and production. That is also, which is one of the part of the sustainable agriculture, and we'll have to look after these issues. One of the most important issues that is need to be addressed, that is social sustainability, where we have to add the woman empowerment in sustainable agriculture, and then the youth should be attracted towards the agriculture as a business. So how best we can have an extension education policies so that the new generation youth will attracted towards this agriculture, and why the youths are to be selected to in agriculture, so that our agriculture will be sustainable, because the ideas which is created in the mind of youth, and those ideas which is created in the mind of the youth, maybe especially I can talk about the woman youth, which is the woman youth. They are more confident, more innovative, more sustainable, and that's the part of the woman in agriculture. It is near about 20%, which is to be increased up to 50%, so that we can bridge the gap between the research, whatever is going on. The 100% research is not going practically in the field. Most of the research, whatever is going on, which is very innovative, but that research is not going in the field. Practical application of those research is not going on. That can be going through the women youths, and that power of the woman we will have to actually harness, and the role of women youth will be more in this sustainable agriculture. Also, youths can bridge the gap between the youths and the older generation, because older generation, the farmers, they have a good experience of agriculture, and whatever the experience with this actually generation, that can be taken up, and the new innovations, ICT, maybe the ICT tools, we can just talk about the AI in agriculture. Most of the population, they are actually in fear that if AI is coming, then there will be going of the jobs will be curtailed and like that. But I can see a good future in agriculture if suppose artificial intelligence is coming up. There are so many advantages of artificial intelligence and such type of things. Maybe ICT, maybe drone technology, or maybe artificial intelligence. Those tools can be easily adapted by the new generation youth, and these tools can be actually given to the older generation, and all these things can be practically utilized in agriculture, so that the agriculture will be a good business, and it will be a sustainable agriculture in actually true sense. So I can say that if there should be some of the strategies, because youths are not coming in agriculture business, so there must be some of the strategies so that these new generation youths can be attracted towards this agriculture. So there must be some leadership programs, some skill development workshop, then encouraging women-led startup. Our Honorable Prime Minister, he has initiated so many startup programs, and there is a good scope for this new generation youth. But I can say encouraging women-led startup, that will be more feasible. And then value-added enterprises, it can also adding the income generation in agriculture, then creating online platforms for actually rural youth, so that knowledge sharing will be easily going in the farmers field. Then financial actually support to the rural new generation youth, so that they can have an entrepreneurship, then some value addition products, actually industrialization. These things can be more easily done by this new generation youth. Then creating the digital platform for knowledge access, maybe online courses, then webinars, workshop, and also social media. Nowadays in extension, we are using better way this social media, but online courses, some 2 or 3 months courses we can start for these new technologies, maybe data-driven decision making, precision farming, or decision pest forecasting, weather forecasting. Then you can have in new actually era, we will find that you will have such type of a large data that can be come together by these AI tools, and you will get a decision. You don't have to use your own mind to get to have a decision. Sometimes we find that we can irrigate the field and then we receive the rains, and then there will be a loss of the crop. So such type of things are happening. AI can use better way, and we can just reduce the losses. Then virtual farm visit, it is also physically it is not possible for the farmers to go in the field and to see the practical. So in that case, or mostly for women, this rural youth, it is not actually possible for them to go in the field and go for the practicals for 1 or 2 months. In that case, we can have a virtual farm visit also. Then interactive learning models, it is actually required for this sustainable agriculture. So also some success stories, especially for women entrepreneurship, success stories, then eco-friendly practices, then agribusiness success models. That is also one of the part where we can attract the youths. Then mechanization for sustainable agriculture, that is also important. And one thing I just want to add here, the Maharashtra government, they have started a very good scheme. Actually, it was implemented 3-4 years back, but now it is implemented very strongly. The scheme is called as Lakshmi. It is the name is given after the goddess Lakshmi. This scheme is very wonderful scheme. That if suppose your husband has a land holding of 5 acres, directly you can apply to the government that her name should be added in this land record. So directly within 2-3 days, the name of the woman will be added in the land record, and then 50% of the land will be owned by the woman farmer. In this case, what happened if suppose, so such type of things are
I will come
important,
back to you, Gade
so
sir.
that we can attract the youth.
You have
Thank
given
you so
some
much.
very right inputs, like the practical utility of the research and usage of this artificial intelligence in agriculture, online short courses, because the younger youths, they are not interested in learning for 4 years, 5 years. They want to learn in a short period. They are very brainy. They want to adapt it in short time. They have a financial utilization. They have resources also. They want to have a specific jobs. So your suggestion of online short courses is very useful one. And the virtual farms, you are rightly pointed out, the virtual farms which can be seen from anywhere, sitting anywhere, so that they can adopt this technology. Thank you, Dr. Gade. Sir, we'll move on to Dr. Hemant, who has got the vast experience working in various countries. Basically, he's an agriculture graduate, but working with FAO, and he has traveled a lot in the different continents. Dr. Hemant, can you throw a light on the youths in Africa, their problems, how they are moving away from the agriculture? Maybe it is there in all the continents, all anywhere in the world, and how can you overcome these problems in those countries? Please continue, Hemant.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity, Dr. Sripad, and greetings to all esteemed panel members and the people who are seeing this broadcast. Agriculture, the importance of food security has hit home in the world. I'll give you two examples of that. Can you hear me? Yeah. I'll give you two examples where the importance of food security was taken away, but then it has come back again. For example, I was in Nigeria. In 1960s, Nigeria was the world's largest groundnut producer. There were pyramids of peanuts that were waiting near the ship to be loaded to be exported. But as soon as they got oil, the importance of agriculture fell down, and people thought we are getting a lot of money, so we can import the food, and the importance of agriculture fell down. And within about 30-40 years, nobody was willing to do agriculture. All the people were looking for jobs, government jobs. A lot of government jobs were created. A lot of other jobs were created. So people went out of agriculture. But when the importation of when the money from petroleum products started coming down because of global competition, that is when they realized that agriculture is important. So now they are trying to get the agriculture back on rails. The other example, in Nigeria, World Bank was giving a lot of money to various governments, and they gave to Nigeria also. Somewhere in the World Bank, within the World Bank think tank, they said, if we give more money to agriculture, it's not giving as much jobs, it's not creating as many jobs. They said they shifted their focus from agriculture to industries. So they started funding industries, infrastructure and all that. But then again, that led to less food security. So after 10 years of not focusing on agriculture, they have come to realize that agriculture is an area which produces the maximum amount of jobs in the rural areas. So they have started putting money in agriculture. Again, in the recent past, the COVID-19 lockdowns has shown that domestic food production is most important for all the countries. And if you do not have domestic food production, that's a problem. Youth moving out of agriculture is one of the biggest problem for threat to sustainability for two reasons. One is, like in developing countries, the youth constitute about 40 to 50% of the population. And there are two things. If 40 to 50% people are not involved in producing, then there is a problem. The other flip side of that is these 50% of the people are consuming agricultural products. The aspirations are growing, their incomes are growing, so they want more food. For example, if you look at about 30, 40 years ago, how much consumption each person was having, and now when we compare that, we are consuming more products which are coming from agriculture, more high value-added products from agriculture. So if the production is low, but the consumption is more, that again impacts sustainability. So bringing youth is important. So the topic here we were talking about, is it sustainable? Is agriculture sustainable? And can we bring in youth? I say the question should be not, is it sustainable? Because making agriculture sustainable is not an option. It is a necessity. So how can we make agriculture sustainable is one question. The other one is, if 50% of the population is not involved in production, responsible consumption, then again is a problem. So how do we involve agriculture? We will talk more about it in the next round if you want.
Okay,
but
I will come back
I would
to
say
you, Hemant.
Sustainability is a necessity.
Really
Involving
pointed out
youth also
this
is a necessity.
is not an option,
and we spoke about a few things how we to involve youth.
Have a sustainability for agriculture. We have given very good example of Nigeria with peanuts, and you also mentioned about the funding agencies attitude, and they give more preference for these industries rather than the agriculture. The Vajpayee ji once he told that if 1 acre is irrigated, the 4 jobs can be created. The jobs per drop is very, very important in agriculture. We can create a lot of jobs provided if you increase the irrigation. And we'll just move on to the role of students. How major the problem in agriculture is we are not focusing our education system into the agricultural line. We have branded it as if the agriculture is not profitable. We are rebranding our education system, schools, then learning. I request Dr. Jalla Satyanarayan to throw light on why the people are after only medical and engineering, why they are not coming to agriculture education, what kind of changes we have to make in syllabus, curricular activities, and other things. Please carry on, Jalla.
Oh, thank you, Sripaji. Thank you for the organizers, and good afternoon to all the esteemed speakers. So the topic, can we achieve agricultural sustainability by involving new generation youth? So when you talk about the new generation youth, they are the younger demographic cohort. So that is currently emerging in and becoming active in various fields. So various fields in the society, including agriculture sector. So they are, we can call it Generation Z. That is Gen Z also we are talking about them. So they are a demographic cohort born roughly between the mid 1990s and early 2010s. So they are following the generation Y, so millennial generation, what we are calling about them. So they are generally characterized by growing up in the world where technology and digital communications are deeply ingrained in their daily lives. So they are the born with what is that electronic gadgets. Now the new generation, we are talking about them. So why this new generation, they are not attracted or they are not choosing the agriculture? There are several obstacles we can say that deter the young generation in pursuing this agriculture career. Is it audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So there are several obstacles so that deter the young people. So if you just see what are the things that deterring the young people in choosing the agriculture profession. So first of all, we can say the perception and stigma. The perception stigma. So there are negative perception about the agriculture as outdated. You can say some people say the physically demanding and financially unrewarding. So that discourages the youth in considering the agriculture as viable career. So the perception that farming lacks prestige compared to urban profession, that also deterring the young people in choosing the agriculture careers. So this is the one, the perception and stigma. Then we can see the lack of technological exposure of the young youth in agriculture. So the young youth now, they are familiar with the urban environments and modern technology than with agricultural practices, as you all witnessing now. So here the limited exposure of the youth in innovative technologies in agriculture, so that leads to misconception about the sector potential. So they are lacking knowledge in the technological advancement in the agriculture sector. In third one, if you are talking about the what are the factors deterring this, financial insecurity. Starting of agriculture venture often requires substantial the upfront investment in the land, equipment, and inputs. So here, the financial risks associated with this agriculture, which is generally said as unpredictable weather patterns, market fluctuations, can discourage the young people in entering into the agriculture sector. That is also one thing which is deterring that one. Then access to land and resources also one of the factor, and education training gaps also. So one of the things so that is deterring the young people choosing into the agriculture sector and excelling in that field. So here insufficient agriculture education curricula in some of the things so that fail to equip the people with the necessary skills, the skill oriented, the agriculture education should be there in all the fields. That is modern farming techniques we have to show them. So limited availability of training, what are the programs that focus on sustainable and innovative agricultural practices, that also deterring the people choosing that one. So generation gap and knowledge transfer also. So here, the older generation often possesses the valuable traditional farming knowledge. So and also the risk which involved in the agriculture also they will be choosing that one. But the carrying this knowledge to the young generation, that is also lacking, that is there. So general gaps in technology and usage of communication styles can impede the effective so knowledge what is that sharing also it is there. So limited market access, market information, that is also one of the thing that people are not choosing. So rural urban migration also one of the factor that is also deterring that one. So rural urban migration in search of what is that better economic opportunities also they are there. So that is they are choosing for modern lifestyles. What is that leads to declining the rural population. So that is also there. So here labor intensive occupation they are that giving it that, because most of the people that are migrating the urban, that's why in rural areas that is labor so intensive occupation that contributes that one. So gender equality also there, lack of recognition and support in the society. Those who are choosing the agriculture, so they are not recognized in the society, the government, the policy makers, that is also there. Then other important factor, climate change and environmental concerns also some of the factors that is that is
Shall we continue that in the second part, Jalla?
yeah. So
You have thrown light on the perception stigma towards the agriculture and unrewarding nature of the agriculture.
so these are some of the things that are deterring the youth in
Yeah,
choosing the
I
agriculture.
have pointed out some of the good points for the reasons for the not participation of these youngsters in agriculture, which you also referred that skill trainings are necessary. Okay, we will continue to interact regarding that in the second session.
How to retain them in the
Okay, then for the benefit of the participants, I would like to inform them that they have an opportunity to question some of the doubts they have in their mind. We have kept about 10 minutes time for answering the questions of the participants. Please note down any difficulties in understanding what is going on, what this kind of discussion is going on here, and you can ask those questions in the end so that our panelists would be able to answer your feelings and difficulties. Now we'll move on to the women in agriculture. The 80% of women are involved in agriculture. In fact, the last 15 days, I am in searching of some of the innovative farmers. When it comes to the innovative farmers, most of the farmers are the women, because they have a plenty of time in the home. They have a products, agriculture products. They have been transforming these products into agriculture products into the marketable products. That is the one thing. And they have now the facilities of this online marketing. When I asked them about the marketing for their products, they said, no, we doesn't have any problem. In this direction, let us request Dr. Jyoti to throw some light on the young woman agriculturists who have been going away from the agriculture, because even they doesn't want to marry even agriculturist. Women nowadays, they are not even interested in marrying the person who is doing agriculture. So in this contest, what kind of changes we can bring in women, especially young women, in bringing them back to the agriculture, encouraging them to involve in agriculture? Jyoti, please carry on. You have a
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes. My camera, there is some problem with the
put on your
network.
camera so that others can.
I put it on, sir, but it will take some time.
Okay, no problem.
We had lost connectivity somehow. Thank you very much, Shripad sir, Kulkarni sir, respected panelists, participants, and the organizers. It's a very nice session on sustainability in agriculture and a thought-provoking one topic. Sustainability in agriculture has to be there. It has to be, that is the need. That is what everybody has told. Of course, it is a need, but how to move further together, both the genders together, how to give importance to agriculture. Here, when we think, we have producers as well as we have professionals in agriculture. When we think, of agriculture, when we read the history of agriculture, we have seen women were the one who first domesticated the crop. Okay, and they are the one who found out the science of farming. Why? Because they were the one who started gathering seeds from the native varieties, from the best. They were the best, persons to select varieties so that they can, make it more sustainability. In fact, I on this platform, I wish to say that women, it is only because of women that agriculture is being made sustainable. There are so many facets of agriculture what we are seeing. We see organic farming coming to. We had seen precision. We had seen integrated. Now it is again natural farming coming into. So whom do you think the agriculture, this natural farming also would be sustainable? It would be only made sustainable by the involvement of women, by educating women. And when we think of women, laborers, 49% of women in India, 49% of women are laborers. When we think on a wider perspective, it is 43% in different developing countries, around 20% in Latin America, and 50% in Asia and sub-Saharan Africa and all. We just find this statistics on the net. But when we see many of them, almost the 2/3 of world's 600 million, agriculturists, they are the poor. 600 million livestock keepers, they are they fall in that poor category. Women, they are we can see them as independent producers, we can see them as agriculture partners, we can see them as assistants for agriculture, and even farm makers also. And there is a big gender gap for this matter when we find with respect to women in agriculture, the core women, the women force, what is there in agriculture, there is a big gender gap with respect to the land, livestock, or the labor, education, or even we can say that extension in financial services and technology also. So here, when I say that a significant share of household in all regions are headed by women, but yet they have very less access to the productive resources and services. this is more heart touching, and a lot of extension personnel are into bringing awareness and encouraging women to participate. When we think of women and nutritional security also, we see every 10 rupee what we give, every $10 what we give as an additional income to the women. There are studies which say that 10% of it is spent, there is 10% improvement in the family nutrition and health. So when, as compared to men, when we increase the income of for women, it is only spent on health and nutritional aspect of her family. And this is uh, hardcore reason why we think that women have to be empowered with respect to agriculture. When we think of professionalism in agriculture, long time back, when we used to see in our times in agriculture education system, we used to find very less takers for agriculture uh, by the women female students. And today, if you see, there are more girl students who are taking admission. But how best are they performing? Is there that need has to be that has to be assessed? How best they are performing? Why they are having less encouragement for entrepreneurship? All these are questionable. And as the previous speaker has already told, that there is NEP what is coming up through the ICR system in the next year 2024. We have to really focus on women based enterprises. And women based enterprises, they don't want to marry, sir already told, that they don't want to marry farmers and all. Hardcore farmers, agriculture graduate cannot. If it is an engineer who is doing agriculture, they are already married. There are, you see, many other professionals jumping into the agriculture system. Now it is post-COVID era, so many foreign returned engineers, software engineers are into. There are new forms of agriculture. There are new commercial forms, agro-eco tourism parks. They have become a fashion word. Everybody wants to have, such enterprises. We have to empower our agriculture graduates to start such innovative
Okay.
enterprises in agriculture, sir. Food processing,
Okay.
I think I'll talk
We
in the
have
next
one
half
panelist
part of
for
my.
food processing, Jyoti, and we are very much thankful. You have touched upon natural farming and the cost now. Cost reduction technology is very, very important in bringing sustainability. Labor cost, input
Yes,
cost. If natural farming is adopted, women should be preparing all this Bijambarat, Jivamrat, all inputs she can prepare on her own. She involved in the agriculture. Labor cost is reduced. She has I really identified some of the very good points. And she also told about the enrollment of girls in the colleges. Even our university has got 60% students, girl students. So
yes,
still we are not involving the woman in the decision making. That is the more important thing nowadays. If at all you allow her to make some good decisions, she will certainly make a good decision. That's what Jyoti wanted to convey. Thank
good
you, Jyoti. We'll come
strategies.
back to you. And now we have a next speaker, panelist on the post-harvest handling and value addition. I request one of the entrepreneur and with a lot of his experience, he can throw some light on how this sustainability can be brought into the agriculture through this value addition and entrepreneurship. Dr. Srinivas, please carry on.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for having me here and giving me an opportunity to be part of this wonderful panel. Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. Let me just speak on post-harvesting methods and processes. As for my view, post-harvesting is most neglected agricultural activity, most neglected. In terms of government, industry, society, the farmers themselves are most neglected, I feel. Probably today we are seeing a situation wherein all the food prices, name it anything, whether it's a grain based, fruits, vegetable, oil seeds, all have gone up by multifolds. We are seeing, so India is forced to ban exports, probably the first time, wheat exports and rice exports, because they're seeing a huge shortage. It's not just an Indian phenomena; it's a world over. World over. Probably the effects that's come out from Ukraine war or sudden demand from all other corners where this farming has become a minority factor. But the trend is looking very grim. If this continues, it will be very unacceptable things. Maybe we have to force to see. See here, to equate to this issue, there is estimated that major foods like grains and cereals, vegetables, there is a shortage of 20% on Indian basis and world over. And interestingly, even the post-harvesting losses are also can equate to these figures. The post-harvesting losses is approximately 20 to 30%, some cases even 50% in vegetable fruit cases. So I sense that if you arrest the post-harvesting losses, probably we can address the food security, food shortages world over in Indian scenario also. So let us discuss what causing food shortages, what causing post-harvesting things and difficulties, which leads to a loss of 20 to 50%. Yeah, mainly the farmers. Let us take India in Indian context, or 70% of the world other nations context. The farming today in this world is mostly unorganized sector. In India, probably 95% of our agriculture is under unorganized sector. So farmers grow through a knowledge. Okay, this comes from generations, and he only knows the growing methods. He's the best person to grow, sow and grow, but he doesn't know how to preserve it in a right manner, in a right time. And see, that's where the most of the losses occurs. He harvests on a wrong time, probably, or he don't know how to manage post harvesting, in the sense drying, packaging, storing, before reaching to a merchandiser. Because till the point of the merchandiser, it is a farmer's responsibility. See, if it comes to my mill, my factory, based on its quality only, I'll price it. So it is his responsibility to the last mile. So that's where farmers are, losing, and which leads to 20 to 30% of value depletion. And sometimes even I have seen practically that their hard effort and they're unable to sell in the open markets, and they're forced to sell to the animal and the bird feeds. It's a very unfortunate situation. And see, considering this unorganized sector, see, these people should be supported in terms of scientifically, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of all other things, because farmers are not capable enough to, invest on post harvesting. So government has to do a lot, and universities and other farming societies have to do a lot on this thing. See, for example, if a grain or a seed or a fruit, vegetable, anything, if it is rightly not harvested, for example, a product is harvested premature, if it is harvested post-mature, it is not ideal. It has to be harvested in a right time. Okay, probably some perishable things we need to harvest premature. Long shelf life products like grains and oilseed, you have to harvest matured post mature only. So these are the things farmers are a bit confusing, and I have seen practically that they look for a market price. If market price tendency is good, they'll harvest irrespective of its maturity. They tend to harvest, and which leads to a lot of food loss and food spoiling, which leads to even fungal and other microbial infections, which are unfit for human consumption. All the things, which they never normally think. And with this, and see, these are the difficulties that farmers are facing. Let us talk about some of the solutions.
Srinivas sir, you can throw light on solutions in the second part. You can even tell about the.
Let me just 1 minute. Let me finish solutions part of it.
Okay.
This will you complete? Yeah. So when it comes to the solutions part, farmers and industry should be, are very much connected. Now, at present scenario in India, we are disconnected. Okay, what they're sowing, what they are growing, and when they should harvest, and many things are disconnected. That's the one area we should improve. And basic infrastructure like your roads, storages, cold storages, drying yards, mechanized drying, which are all lacking. Because of this, we are estimated in grain and oilseed over 30% losses are happening. So these, the APMCs and other farming societies and governments should able to, give some infrastructure in rural areas. It is not that every farmer can't bring this to an urban area and, process these things. And other problem area is, solution area is marketability. See, many of the things, when you have grown for such a long time and you are unable to market it in time, so you should have a proper supply chain mechanism so that every farmer can be accessible to markets. It could be any market. The India is the market. So you have e-marketplaces, but farmers should made accessible to these market so that he can sell his product in a right time in a right price. Because we have seen in India too low and too high scenario. Somewhere in the country the product is in high demand, but here at growth place it is no demand. So this too high, too low, we have seen in tomato case and onion case. Many a times we see it's a too high, too low situation. It is due to marketing accessibility and sustainability. Okay, and a technology application. Technology should made available to the farmers, to know and which crop he should grow and where he can sell, where this has a more demand, where I can fetch the best price, and how I should process this to get a best price. This all should be make available to the farmers.
I think we'll come back to you, and you have pointed out some of the points. There is some negligency on part of the processing value addition, either from the farmer or from the industries. Because of that, we are losing a lot of the whatever the food we have produced. There is one saying, the grain saved is grain grown. We are losing about 30-35% of our grains and fruits, vegetables, and we are not matching the places where it is produced and where it is required. That is another problem we have highlighted. And now there is a problem of marketing also. Online marketing is gaining very, very fast, and people are reaching far other countries, even from the remote places like Sirsi. So we have one or two questions from the participants. that we have to answer. One is the Ashutosh Upadhyay. He has asked about the water is one of the most important input in the agriculture. But what happens if the natural calamities like floods comes? Who doesn't have any answer for this kind of problem? And the land and water management is one of the important aspect in bringing sustainability. This we have to answer. Any panelists, if you would like to answer this question, please carry on. Otherwise, I have some answer for this. Anyone would like to answer this? The preventing this flood and natural calamities in bringing the sustainability. What can I say here is anybody would like to answer this?
Actually, Dr. Upadhyay is working as a head water and soil management, as per my knowledge is concerned. So he must be knowing the solutions. As he is working as a head, he must be knowing some of the solutions for this flood and all.
He may not be the head. What we'd like to suggest is preventing the encroachment. The encroachment is creating all this problem for these floods. Encroachment of the rivers that has to be protected, and we have to have sufficient drains, bunds, and gully plugging, and even you can create some terrains also. And we can avoid advise farmers to grow crops which can sustain these floods, like the sugarcane, banana, then rattans, some plantations. They can sustain the waterlogging condition for some time, and we can harvest the good effects of these floods also. I hope Dr. Ashutosh Upadhyay is happy with this answer. And we have got another question from Ayushi Sharma. How can he has asked about how can organic farming bring sustainability? He rightly pointed out whether we can go for the this kind of system, organic farming, natural farming. Lot of discussion is there nowadays. I just tell him that you can join another session is there on 20th. I am going to present it on organic farming. How can it help in bringing this sustainability? Now the panelists, any of our panelists can answer these questions. Anybody, Dr. Jalla, can you answer this? How the organic farming can bring sustainability? Any panelist for that matter?
Actually, I cannot suggest 100% organic farming we should go, but in some area we can go for organic farming where we can get a agriculture sustainability. Actually, there are a lot of areas where we can work for organic farming, where we can get a agriculture sustainability, like carbon emission. It is the big problem in agriculture. We can solve through this organic farming, then soil health, then actually water management. It is also possible through organic farming. The pest as well as disease problem, it can be lowered down with this, and the nutrition is also one of the important aspects.
Your target is to reduce the cost of cultivation. That is possible in organic farming. The inputs are prepared at local level, and the involvement of all the family members is possible in organic farming. The organic farming itself is a different lifestyle. You need to have lower down your aspirations, demands, and requirements in to become an organic farmer. So soil improvement is also there.
Also, sir, residue is one of the important problems. Chemical residue,
as well as environmental sustainability. This is what I wanted to convey to Ayush Sharma. We shall continue with our panelist once again. Dr. Chandregowda, sir, please. Can you throw some light on what KVKs can do in bringing some sustainability among the youths? Whether we can have some skill trainings and other things. Chandregowda, sir? Whether he is there or not. He is in Kerala. He was also facing the problem of this connectivity. Chandregowda, sir, is there? Or else we'll continue with Dr. Hemant. Hemant is there? Hello, Dr. Hemant.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you can continue with what are the solutions for bringing back this the youths into agriculture. What kind of modification changes are required? Policy changes, maybe the other changes also.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, you mentioned, the various panelists mentioned, and you also mentioned beautifully that certain behaviors of our own populations over time have caused these problems where we are right now. For example, you said encroachment of lands is causing flooding and all that. In a similar manner, when we talk about organics, I would like to mention that the fad of uh, making some organic certification on certain crops and selling that twice the price is not really organic that I would encourage. I would think of organic as a sustainable farming practices. If you look at more than 10,000 years, agriculture was very sustainable, very balanced. But in the last 100 years or 200 years, when we went into monoculture, taking every single possibility out of the land, that created a problem. So, how do we bring youth into agriculture? Coming back to the question, I would suggest a few things that have worked across the world. One that India and various developing countries like Africa have to do is bring in dignity of labor. In Western countries, for example, in Holland or in France or in Israel, any technical person who he might be fitting some pipes, irrigation pipes, that person is as valued as a scientist. So dignity of labor is very important. Second one is catching them young. For example, we do not have any exposure to agriculture for kids even up to 11th or 12th standard. Only if they choose agriculture, if they do not get admission into engineering, if they do not get admission into medicine, then they fall into agriculture area and then they learn where it is grown. Till then, there is no exposure. So, what I would recommend in Indian context or in African context is it's happening in Africa right now, by the way, that school gardens are being created, agriculture or farming practices is part of young students curriculum. So they are taken to farms, they are asked to make their hands dirty, grow some vegetables, and those vegetables are used in the school feeding programs. So that is one more area. School gardens is one thing. Youth, they are moving away from agriculture because of drudgery or because of low incomes and all that. So how do we bring them back in? Is digital agriculture is one option, vertical farming and precision farming is another one. But in digital agriculture, the problem I see globally is people who are IT graduates, they are coming into agriculture and they are bringing in some solutions, and those are not sustainable because they do not completely understand the whole value chain. But agricultural graduates do not have complete knowledge of digital tools. So there is a disconnect. So what I would recommend is bringing in more digital content in agriculture courses, so the agricultural graduates themselves have some more deeper understanding of this, and then bringing them together. So bringing agricultural graduates, and for example, if you look at Silicon Valley or other places, Israel, where good startup ecosystem is happening, in India it's happening now, the collaboration between complementary skills. For example, in India, if a person wants to start a business, one person wants to be the whole head of the business, and that doesn't work. There has to be a person who is a technical person who is a good marketing person, a person who understands the finances. So that collaborative approach is needed, and that is where
Okay, thank
there
you,
is some work to be done. So these are the few of the
Hemant.
thoughts that I have.
Some good suggestion from Jalla, please. Anupama, we have a very little time, I know. Still then, I will take some other suggestion from some other panelists. Jalla, one or two points, very
Yeah,
short and very fast.
the point we have stopped, how to retain the youth in agriculture. So there are some of the points how to retain in the agriculture sector. So here the modernizing the agricultural curriculum. So here, that is one point you have to think into that one, and we have to include more of hands-on learning these things in the practicals and the field-oriented trips and all these things. You have to include that, and use of technology, as rightly said Hemant. So use of technology in the education process, that is most important. That is utilizing the virtual reality, simulations, online courses, interactive apps, so that make learning more engaging and the aligned with the tech savvy generation. So that you have to think in that direction. Showcase career opportunities. What are the opportunities in that? That is also important for retaining them. And most of the guest speakers from industry and the experts. So we have to include and we have to popularize
Okay.
these things.
Okay.
Youth involvement.
Thank
These
you, Jalla. We will move on to the Jyoti, please. You have any suggestions with respect to a specific
Nice, sir. Very interesting discussions going on, sir, which are much debatable. Sustainability, when we say in agriculture and youth, we can bring in. Hemant sir has given very good examples of including agriculture at the school level. Of course, the ICR system, sir, has already included it in the education system. In the ECC, that is NEP, already is getting at early childhood education system only. But there is a concept in ICR, sir, as Shripad Kulkarni, sir, also is there in extension, the Nutri-Smart Village concepts. When we see this, all our extension personals, all the research projects have this as their social responsibility to start Nutri-Smart villages, Nutri-Smart, to establish Nutri-Smart villages.
Okay.
When we check here, there are so many Nutri-Smart gardens.
Any other new point, if it is there?
Yes, and we should educate the youth with the value chain management.
30 years back, I was a food entrepreneur, and I struggled. Then the times were so difficult. There was not availability of funds. There was no support from the governments. But now the time is ripe. There is a very good environment for youth to start to become a startup and enterprise into food. It is a good opportunity because India, if you look at compares to Western world, we process 2% of food, only 2% of food. The 2% of processed food only we are consuming now. Most of food is unprocessed and semi-processed consumed. Like Japan and US, UK, they process up till 98%. Okay, so there is more opportunities. It shows that we are at 2%. That means there is more opportunities. Okay,
you mean to say that we have more opportunity for food processing now compared to the previous days?
Than before. It's now because the time is ripe for second level and third level.
The only thing is that government has to support financially, infrastructure wise, and the linkage, the what is you called as the chain linkage for agriculture commodities with entrepreneurship and value addition. All these are necessary nowadays. Thank you, Srinivas,
just
sir.
One example, I'll close this, sir. See, now Karnataka itself has around 8 food parks.
Okay, food parks. Very nice.
Food parks. In these food parks, you just go with the capital. Everything is there. You have a storages, you have processing places, you have a cold storages, whatnot. Everything is built in.
Okay.
You go with the capital, you go with an idea. That's all.
You suggest to enhance number of such units all over world, in India, and even to whole Karnataka. Such kind of units have to come up so that the units can involve in this processing, value addition, and the value chain management, sir.
Agripreneur incubation center, so that there will be nurturing some innovations.
Government has already started many entrepreneurship incubating centers, Raptars, startups, and even 10,000 FPOs have been planned to start now. In the end, we have one question from Mr. Swaraj. He has a basic question: what kind of benefits youths have by bringing sustainability to agriculture? Why you need to bring back the youngsters? That's what he has asked. It's a basic question. Everybody know that the doctor's son is becoming doctor, liar's son is becoming liar, but none of the farmer wants to become his son to be agriculturist. That is the situation right now. Then in such a situation, if you are not bringing back the agriculturist's son back to the agriculture, what's happening? His all hard work goes in a waste, because agriculture transformation requires decades of decades. If he is planting one mango tree, it requires 10 years, 15 years to give fruits. If his son is not coming back to harvest those mangoes, that mango tree will not be of much use. Nobody is there to take care of mango and such trees, such orchards. He has toiled, his father, grandfather has toiled so much to create the infrastructure. It is a decades together experience and involvement of his parents. That's why it is very, very, very much necessary to bring back the children, youngsters back to the agriculture. Continuity is required. Our food production now has reached peak, but it will come down if youngsters are not coming back to the agriculture. Hope all our panelists would agree with me. And so it is a big debate. Sustainability, it is not a small thing to discuss in 1 or 2 hours. Whole world is thinking about the sustainability because of the climate change. So many things are happening all over the world. It's a very little time. All the panelists have contributed a lot for this discussion. I once again thank all the panelists. Some of you have very much tough time in joining to this panel because you are in the isolated place. Again, the connectivity is the problem. Still, then you have made it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Anupama, for giving me an opportunity to moderate this panel. Thank you very much for all the participants.